The third ordinary session of the 2023 legislative year of the Upper House of Parliament in Cameroon has ended in Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital. This took place on Saturday, December 9, 2023 in a session chaired by Senate President Marcel Ndifenji. The Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. John Gute, Bovin Wakata, Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of relations with parliaments, other members of the government bench and some state officials were present. Closing the session at the House chamber, the Senate President acknowledged the importance of the work done by House members to scrutinize and adopt bills aimed at strengthening the country's governance and sovereignty. After different deliberations and the presentation of the economic, financial, social, and cultural program of the government for 2024 by Chief Dr. John Gute at the Lower House of Parliament, the Upper House of Parliament welcomed the 2024 finance law in a separate session chaired by Senate Vice President Aboubakari Abdullahi.
Adopted. This law will be registered, published according to the procedure at urgency and insert in the official gazette in English and French. Any objection?
No objection. After presentation and a few comments from senators, the finance law for 2024 was adopted with a budget of 6,740 billion francs CFA. 13.2 billion francs CFA has thus been added to the 2023 state budget, resulting in a 0.2% increase for the 2024 budget. Some senators made remarks on the budgetary session.
Everybody did his best. Everybody asked the very necessary questions that Cameroonians would have asked. And I think we had satisfactory response and answers from the government bench. Coming to finalize with the voting of the 2024 budget that has normally increased, we are very optimistic that it will help to alleviate poverty. We know the challenges the Cameroonian people are going through. There will be some improvement in the livelihood of the Cameroonian people come next year. I do believe the government of Cameroon, led by President Paul Biya, has a vision, which I believe Cameroonian people must follow that, and we must all put our energies together to make sure we achieve better goals for our country.
We're talking about Northwest, Southwest, and then we'll talk about decentralization. And after that, talk about how to pay Cameroon debt. So I think for this budget, we talk with the minister concerned the financial, and then I think in the next year we need to be careful because you cannot start the budget 69% only to consume, only 31% to invest. It's not possible to change Cameroon like that. So I think before next year, they have to see how they can change this kind of organization.
A budgetary session, as you know, people always want more money. We always want more public investment. But the reality is that we have to be realistic. It's a difficult time, and the Minister of Finance had to basically juggle things and make the best. The increase in the budget was not as high as would have liked it to be, but it did not reduce. It went up a little bit, and if you consider that mid last year there was a budget adjustment, so if you look at it in whole, it is something we could do.
With focus on security, infrastructural development, settling government debts and other priorities, the 2024 state budget is expected to strengthen governance in Cameroon, advance development and relieve the country of its internal and external debts. The Senate President in his speech said in line with recommendations from budget orientation debates, the Senate encourages the government to continue structural reforms to improve physical infrastructure, strengthen economic diversification, increase processing of local products, develop regional trade within the sub-region, and improve mobilization of internal resources. Marcel Nyat commended the recently adopted mining code, stating that the Senate expects its application to better the mobilization of mining resources for the country's development. He further commented on other bills adopted, outlining expectations of the Senate as they get to application. The Senate President during the closing ceremony also expressed regret for the suspected armed separatist attacks on November 21st and November 25th in Birmingham Village, Galim subdivision of the West Region, and Queen Village in Bamenda 3 subdivision respectively. Victims of femicide were not forgotten, as he called the entire House to mourn them with a minute of silence. He closed the session urging senators to be ambassadors as they join their families for end-of-year festivities. At the Senate, Fonban Emmanuel for the Astute Ink.